Welcome everybody on Facebook. Encouraged by it. Let's go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being with us today and excited to really share this information with you. I encourage you, if this is the first time you're watching this, to go ahead and take out something that you could take notes on. A pen, a paper, maybe take some notes on your phone. Today I'm going to do something that I've never really done, which is publicly go out and really dive deeper into the biggest financial market in the world. Yes, I've presented this to thousands and thousands of people now in many different states and even many different countries. But usually I don't get into the nuts and bolts about the market, right? And why it's important. And so what I wanted to do today was really add value. I'm going to share with you guys how we can partner towards the end of this. And what I encourage you to do is however you got this webinar. So if somebody shared this online, if somebody shared the link with you, if you're watching this on Facebook, whoever shared that video, if it's me, then reach out to me after you watch this video. But if it was somebody else, reach out to that person. There's somebody that probably works with me and get your questions answered. Because here's what I'll tell you. In 2020, you need to be making money online. And there's different ways to do that. But I'm going to share with you what I consider to be the most limitless income that you could make, the most limitless potential of earnings that you could ever have will come from what I'm about to show you right now. And this is from a person, guys, where years ago, when I started my entrepreneurship journey, I could probably take it all the way back to my youth, but, in my adulthood, really trying to figure out what to do. And for a while, I was a handyman as I was working in the construction field and refrigeration field. And I was making maybe, couple $100, if you will, per day on the side as a bonus to whatever I was doing at a job, right? And then as I developed, I got into the insurance industry and, got several licenses, got an investment license where I could open up mutual fund accounts for people. And yeah, I had days where I made thousands of dollars in a day. But what happened was that I realized I was capped to, limitations based on if I was able to get a sale, right? And what I didn't like was that I had to get a sale to get money, which is understood, right? But the problem is, what if I didn't have a client that day? What if I didn't close that day? Or worse, what if I sold an insurance and then they canceled on it? The company would actually charge that money back. And so I kind of got tired of, going on this circle of, endless nights in people's homes, away from my family. And my mind started to explore, well, what is out there? Around that time was the cryptocurrency boom that was going on. And I remember that in that time, I was like, man, there's this world out there that's making money online. And I even remember, one of the guys that was training me in the insurance industry, he used to tell me, you spend too much money online. But as I started joining this financial revolution, as I started learning about what was out there in the marketplace, I started realizing, hold on, all of these major players are actually making their money online. They're actually, getting their clientele online, making their money online. And so I started finding out that there's this digital revolution where people were making money online. And so with that, I'm going to start sharing with you guys a little bit about what's called the Forex market. So if you're taking notes, the Forex market stands for foreign exchange, okay? And the crazy thing about this is, guys, I want you to understand, you're talking to a person that got a 214 license for insurance, a Series 6 license for investments, a Series 26 license to manage other investors. And I had no idea what the Forex market was. Never heard of it. Maybe it was in a test somewhere, but nobody ever explained it to me. And I definitely didn't know how to trade in it. It was something very off and very distant. I remember sitting with customers and them saying, but what if I want to trade my own money? And I would say, well, that's not safe. And, that's not guaranteed. And most traders lose, right? Like all this stuff that I was fed to say. And I remember they would say, well, what if I want to get higher returns? I could only promise them 9 to 12% on a good year. What if there was bad years, right? And guys, I had no options for them. Fast forward to the Forex market. Anything that I share with you, there's no guarantees in what I'm talking about. You're going to have to learn this. You're going to have to grind this out. But what I will tell you is I have an immense amount of people working with me and with my team where they're profitable more days than not. They're growing at an exponential rate. And I'm going to share with you how powerful that is. So I hope you guys are taking notes. I hope you guys are excited. If you're excited about this information so far, please drop a 444 in the chats if you are excited about this information so far. Thank you guys who are watching on Facebook. Today, we're going to share some powerful stuff with you guys. Thank you guys for joining us on this webinar here today. This is a value-adding webinar that I have never done before, so I hope you guys get value from it. Write down your questions so that you can get your answers shared later. Welcome, Kevin. Welcome, Greg. Brenda out in Maryland. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. All right, if you guys can see the compound calculator, drop a 1 in the chats just to make sure that we are on the same page. If you guys can see it, drop a 1. If you can't see it, drop a 0. Okay, Chris says he could see it. You guys could see it, right? Awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool, guys. Here's what I want to show you is the power of compound interest. Now, I want you to look this up separately, right? Now, look this up independently of me so that you see how real this is. There's something called the rule of 72. The rule of 72 basically says that if you divide, okay, your interest rate by a certain, if you divide the number 72 by the amount of interest you get per year, that tells you how fast it takes for your money to double. Okay, so 72 divided by whatever interest rate you grow will divide your money by that number. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you. Let's say you get the number 72 and you got an interest rate of 12%, which is the best that I could do most times in the stock market. Your money would double in 6 years. That's what I was taught. But you know what's crazy about this number? What if you could do it 12% per month? Well, now that 6 would actually symbolize that your money would double in 6 months, not in 6 years. So while most people are taking years and years to accumulate retirement assets, what if you could do it in months and not years? We've got people doing it. These are real numbers. Now, you want to know what's even crazier? Is that I have people doing this in a day, meaning 12% in a day. I've had people do, there's a person on this call right now. Again, results not typical or guaranteed. I got a person on this call right now done 30% in one day utilizing the tools and products that I use. So I want you to have this vision of money can multiply faster than you ever realized, right? All you would do, let's say you had $250, you put you grew it at 3% per day. I know it says per month here, but this is just the way that they calculate it. They don't expect people to do a percentage per day. But let's say that you did do it at 3% a day. There's about 240 days that you can trade in a year when you take out weekends and holidays. At this rate, okay, you start doubling money pretty fast. Okay, within your first month, you almost doubled your money. All right, about day 25, you doubled your money. Remember, you're trading 5 times a week, so that's about 5 weeks in, right? So 240, that means at 120, you're at about 6 months in. Let's see what we would be at 120. At 120 days, you could take a $250 account to $8,000. Now, most people would say, well, if I kept doing this for 6 more months, well, then my money should double, right? So if you grew $250 to $8,000 in 6 months, you would say, man, my money should double 6 months later. But here's what I want you to understand about compound interest. If you continue to do this, okay, now obviously not every day is going to be a winning day. Maybe one day you weren't able to, trade and do some of the stuff that we're talking about. But here's the vision that I want you to understand. You can take a $250 trading account to over $200,000 in 12 months if you were able to grow it at an average of 3% a day. First couple of days, you're not going to make a whole lot of money, right? It's going to seem insignificant. Even 6 months in, right, we were talking about less than $10,000. But if you were consistent, if you didn't pull the money out and you continue to grow it, you could have over $200,000. What I tell people is focus on making your first six-figure account, right? Guys, this was how I was able to get out of a job in 2019, and I haven't had a job since, right? Working from home. So I want you guys to understand the power of compound interest, okay? I have people on the team that have done this. There's a guy that literally just left the police force. He was close to getting early retirement. The gentleman, I can't even give you the numbers, in less than a year what he's making, right? I got another guy, retired police officer, making more money trading from home than his pension. So what I want you guys to understand is the power of trading and learning what we're talking about today can set you financially free. I also want to remove this concept of, oh, I need a whole lot of money to start trading. Steve, I don't have all this money to invest. Hey, what about a couple of $100 that you put into a brokerage account? I'll show you how to get that done. You manage that brokerage account, and then you're making small gains every day while you're working a job, right? So that's what I'm talking about today. If we could show you how to be financially free, is this something that would make sense for you? So now I'm going to show you a couple of more things. So let me open up this right here. So I want you to have a couple of key concepts. And these are things, guys, I just want you to understand. These are things that you're already doing. These are things that most of you guys already know, okay? But the difference is, you know, what are we going to do about it, right? So to give you an idea, these are the 4 different ways, and Robert Kiyosaki talks about this in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 4 different ways that the common person, right, makes money, or people in general make money, right? 60% work for someone else. Nothing wrong with that, right? You build your life, right, during the day, but you build your wealth at night. 60% of people work for someone else. 35% of people say, hey, I'm tired of this, and they become self-employed. These are your mechanics. These are your carpenters, but these are also your lawyers and doctors. Great jobs, but if they get sick or something happens or they get in a car accident or God forbid, now they don't have a source of income, right? So what we want to learn is how to be like the top 5%. The top 5% have business owner mentalities. They have systems that work for them even while they're not there. And what we're going to focus on today, right, is the top 1%. Learning how to have an investor's mindset, learning how to make money work for money. If you have a 401k, a Roth IRA, this is what your money's doing. It's growing at a rapid pace, you know, and if you guys are taking part of the stock market right now that's rallying, it's amazing. But here's what's going to happen. When the stock market drops, your 401k is going to drop as well. Nothing wrong with that. It's long-term, right? It'll probably still keep going up over time. But what I want you to understand is, what if you could take money and invest it yourself and grow it yourself? I had a gentleman yesterday, you know, we talk every once in a while. He's a trader that trades in my organization. He's like, Steve, I've literally grown my account 26% this month, right? And this is a guy who, you know, he works for a very prestigious Fortune 500 company. He's like, I've grown my account 26% this month, right? He's like, I will have $1 million trading account. He says it's God's plan. So the power of having an investor's mindset, guys, is huge. Now, I want to talk about the Forex market a little bit more in depth because, you know, when most people think about trading, they think about the stock market. Now, I've read many reports, but the average number is that the stock market moves in the hundreds of billions of dollars a day, somewhere between 100 billion and 200 billion dollars a day, right? Not bad. But I want you to understand the magnitude of the Forex market, and then I'm going to explain what the Forex market is. The Forex market moves, guys, in over $5 trillion a day, $5.3 trillion a day. So when you look at the stock market at a couple hundred billion, and then you look at the stock market, right, 5 trillion, it's not even on the same page. It's not on the same, like it's in a whole nother planet. It's in a whole nother universe. And it's so massive that the stock market is contained inside of it. right? If there was no foreign exchange market, there would be no stock market. Now, the question is, why haven't we been taught on this? Why did I have a Series 6 investment license, Series 26 investment license, and was never trained on the Forex market, right? But now in 2020, what's happening is this information is being revealed. And those people that are taking advantage of this are making profits on it. Now, the cool thing about this, it's a market that's open 24 hours a day, meaning you can have a job and trade before you go to work. You can have a job and you can trade in the evenings. And in some cases, depending on what you're trading, you can even trade on the weekends, okay? Stock market, if you wanted to become a day trader, guess when the stock market moves? Between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Where are most people during 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.? Most people are out at their job place, right? At their workplace. So this is a market, guys, open 24 hours a day. You're going to be able to make the time to participate in this. Now, I'm going to share a little bit more in depth on what this is here. But here's a concept I want to give you. In most cases, when people think of investing, what are they thinking of? If I put money into something and it grows in value, I make money, right? And so when you think of the stock market, you put money in, something grows, and then you cash out and you made money. Well, the cool thing about the Forex market, you can make money when something goes up in value, but you could also make money when something goes down in value. And it's crazy to understand that, but if you know ahead of time that something is going to drop in value, you're going to be able to profit on that, whether it's gold, whether it's oil, whether it's the US stock market, right? You can short it, which is sell it, and make money on the way down as well, okay? Now, I'm going to share with you guys now some more in-depth stuff, but I want you to understand some key concepts where the Forex market is bigger than anything you've ever heard of or understood. You can make money on the way down as much as on the way up, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about what's traded on the Forex market. So here, you're looking at the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. And listen, if it's the first time you see this type of chart, here's what I want you to get. It's different. You're going to have to learn something different. It's like when you ride a bicycle, you didn't know how to ride a bicycle, but once you learned, if you learned, you don't forget. Same thing with swimming, right? Same thing with whatever career you're currently doing. But if you learn what's on this chart and you learn how to read it, it will literally take care of every financial burden you've ever had. And you can take this to the bank. You can hold me to what I'm saying. If you learn these charts, if you learn how to trade these charts, and you learn how to use certain tools that I use in order to master these charts and become profitable, you will solve every financial challenge you've ever had. You will be able to satisfy every financial desire that you want for you and your family. So it's traded on the foreign exchange, the way that it's set up. So instead of a stock, Apple, Amazon, whatever, you're trading currencies. Okay, the US dollar versus the Japanese yen is what you're looking here. So as the US dollar goes up, you're going to see the chart going up because it means the Japanese yen is going down. If you see it going down, it means the US dollar is going down and the Japanese yen is going up. So two currencies are tied into one another. Now, how does this play out in the practical life so that you can kind of tie your mind around this? The way that it actually works is kind of like, have you ever been to a different country? You know, have you visited Canada? Have you gone to Europe, right? Have you gone to Mexico? In most cases, some of these places take US dollars, but in many cases, you have to exchange your US dollar for the currency of that country, right? So how it works is, if you took $100 to Mexico today, they'd give you a certain amount of Mexican pesos. But if you went back tomorrow and you did the same transaction, it would actually be a different amount of Mexican pesos. And the reason is because currencies fluctuate every day, every hour, and every minute. They're always fluctuating. And as they fluctuate, people like you and myself can make money on those fluctuations. Now, the way that those fluctuations are calculated, yes, it takes part with like how many cents it grows and all this, but there's something called pips, right? P-I-P-S. And pips, for the sake of our conversation today, we're going to call them points, right? They're points in value. And so as the US dollar goes up against the Japanese yen or any other currency, the Canadian dollar, right? As it goes up in value, down in value, there's pips, there's points that are being generated. Now check how powerful this is. Here, the US dollar went up in a couple of hours, 24 pips or 24 points of value, right? If you were to multiply those 24 points by $1 a point, right? In maybe a couple hours, you make $24, right? Not bad. You're playing with, you're going to be able to trade this on your phone. There's an app, write this down, called MetaTrader 4. Okay. Also, so you guys take note of this. This that I'm looking at is called tradingview.com. Both MetaTrader 4 is a free app for your phone. TradingView.com is a free login that you could have. I have a deluxe version, but you can get it for free, and you can actually log into this stuff. 24 pips, it goes up in value. At $1 a pip, you're $1 a point, right? You would have made $24. Not gonna, you're not getting out of bed for $24. But here's the point that I want to make to you is, as you grow over time, as you learn over time, $1 a point is nothing, right? There's actually something called a standard, and a standard is actually $10 a point. This same trade at $10 a point, if you knew the US dollar was going to go up, you could make $240 in one trade off of your phone. You wouldn't even have to leave your house to make this money. You guys following me so far? Now, here's what's cool. The same way that you could do $1 a point, the same way that you could do $10 a point, you could do $100 a point. Now this trade is worth $2,400. So as you're growing your trading account, you're going to grow how much you can put per pip. And now that's when I said that this is the most unlimited potential for money making that I've ever seen. The banks are trading this at tens of thousands and even hundreds of thousands and above per point. And this is how they're making billions and billions and billions of dollars off of this market. Literally, guys, every person that watches this webinar now and every single person that watches this webinar in the future could become multiple millionaires, right? Many times over, and it wouldn't even touch the financial markets. That's how big this is. So you just want to catch these pips. You want to catch these points as the market goes up. From this point to this point, if you would have held that trade, it was 36 points of profit. $10 a point, that's $360. $100 a point, that's $3,600. But you could also write it on the way down. Check this out. Drops 24 pips, right? $10 a point, make $240 on the way down. $100 a point, $2,400 on the way down. And it's unlimited. You keep growing that. Guys, I know people making, $500 a pip and above off of some of these trades, right? Very, very powerful stuff. So you're going to be able to trade different types of currencies. Also, you could trade gold. Here we see gold. Look at this crazy drop on gold. A lot of my friends love trading gold. It's something that I trade as well. Look at that drop. It's massive, guys. Absolutely massive. So we trade gold. We trade things like the euro, the dollar. Also the stock market. Many of you guys have seen the stock market rallying. This is something that me and my organization, we actually specialize in it. Now, the reason is because, how I was telling you, currencies, they move 10 pips, 20 pips, 30 pips. The US stock market, the way that the pips are calculated with the brokers we use, it gives you thousands of pips. So to give you an example, here the US stock market in just, let's say an hour, so 15, 30, 45, let's say 1 hour, okay? Here, guys, in 1 hour, it moved 71 points, which equals 710 pips on the brokers we use. So rather than, at $1, you would have made $71. Since it's the US stock market, it's calculated differently. At $1 a pip is actually $710 in 1 hour. Now, let me ask you, if you could make $710 in 1 hour, would you be able to leave your job? Would you be able to work from home? Would you be able to live that life that you want to live if you can catch some of these movements? We charted and caught a trade, me and a few of my partners in my organization, right? Guys, it moved like 2,000 points or 200 points, which is 2,000 pips. So look at this. So over the course of a couple hours, this thing jumped up 2,000 pips. At $1 a pip, guys, that's $2,000. At $10 a pip, guys, that's $20,000. I know people that are catching $10,000, $20,000 days trading this. So I just want you to understand the potential is absolutely ridiculous if you are able to focus in on this and grow this. So this is the US stock market. As it goes up, we can trade it. I mentioned oil. Also, guys, if you've ever heard of cryptocurrencies and wanted to learn about it, whatever you feel about Bitcoin is irrelevant. You can also trade it on the Forex market and write it up and trade it in pips as well, and write it down and trade it in pips as well. So guys, very, very powerful stuff. And it's literally now about learning this market. So I want to recap on a couple of things that I've mentioned so far to you guys. One, the Forex market is the biggest market in the world, right? The stock market moves in a couple of $100 billion a day. The Forex market moves in $5 trillion a day, okay? Instead of having to wait for something to go up in value, the Forex market, you can make money as it goes up in value, but you could also make money as it goes down in value, okay? You make money by something called pips, okay? And as pips move, you're able to make your money on those pips, all right? And let me see, is there anything else? And also, guys, pretty much anything that you could think of is in the Forex market, and you could trade it on a daily basis. So the question becomes is, well, what now? What's next, right? I'll tell you guys, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, coming out of the insurance market, I literally knew nothing about this, right? If you're looking at me and saying, man, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. I didn't know anything about this, 2 years ago. There was a platform that I was able to get on and learn from, and mentors that I was able to get that that helped me along the journey on the process to where I am today and to where I'm going. I will tell you guys very, very truthfully, I will have the biggest year financially of my life in 2020. And it is because of this platform. It is because of the information I've learned. It's because of the mentorship that I've gotten. And here's the cool thing, this is not just about me, okay? So if you guys decide to take advantage of this information, the mentorship is going to be available for you as well. So the concept I want to share with you as I wrap this up, number one is it's time to learn, okay? What I've given you today is kind of an intro to what the Forex market is, the foreign exchanges. Now, what do you do with that? Well, if you're serious about taking your financial life to the next level, one of the things that we do is we want to put you onto a platform or share with you a platform which many of us have learned from, okay? Where you can learn how to actually trade from home. So if you want to make money right from your computer, I want you to picture, instead of listening to me, what if you were making money right now, right from your computer, right from your smartphone? Well, it's going to take education, right? I'm part of a platform where, you get to learn called I Am Academy. And I Am Academy basically puts an academy together. There's actually several academies within it. But the main one I'm going to talk about today is the Forex Academy, where you're going to be able to watch videos that are custom made by expert traders. These are people that have been living and trading for many, many years, and their information is proven to work. And you're going to be able to go in and learn from a very, very basic fundamental level, right? Foundational level, all the way to an advanced level where you're going to be able to trade on your own. Okay, we've got several academies built into the platform, which I won't share right now. But here's what I want you to understand. After the academy, we're going to also give you live mentorship. Over 130 live educators that are going to be teaching you guys live everything that you learned in the academy, how to apply it, their tips, tricks, and strategies, and even their own trade setups. Guys, I have people on my platform that literally, they're learning and learning. But in the beginning months, right, and even their first year, a lot of these guys are just taking the trades that the master educators are taking, and they're growing their accounts. Just like the gentleman I told you grew his account 26% this year. That's mostly from taking trades from these live educators that you can just log in. They're on there pretty much 24 hours a day. So whether early in the morning, late in the evening, in the middle of the day, there's going to be someone live that you're going to be able to watch. Also, all the recordings are on there, so very, very powerful. Guys, we also have over 12 different scanners that scan the markets to give you the trade. So if you're looking at the chart that I'm giving you saying, man, it's going to take me a while to learn that. Well, guess what? We've got scanners that scan the market and then give you the trade setup with even the entry numbers and everything that you're going to need to be able to take the trade. Here's the harmonic scanner. It's one of my favorite ones, and it comes with our most basic package. So very, very powerful stuff. And the last thing I'll share with you guys is that we have 3 different apps. Okay, these apps send trades directly to your phone. So whatever time of the day a good trade can come in, these master traders will send it to you, and all you got to do is copy and paste the trade, and you're in it. Gold Cup has over a 90% accuracy, okay, over the last 12 months if you literally just copy and paste the trade. So very, very powerful things, right? So the question I want you guys to ask yourself is, are you ready? Are you ready to take on and make 2020 the biggest year financially of your life? Are you ready to take total control over your family's financial future? Are you ready to really take the steps that it takes so that you can become financially independent and not have to work for 40 years? Guys, what if you can, instead of working the next 40 years for a great retirement, right? Or maybe 30 years if you kick it into high gear and really get it done. What if we're looking at a 5-year stretch? What if we're looking at a 3-year stretch? What if we're looking at a 2-year stretch? I mean, I just saw somebody do it in 1 year, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not able legally to share you the numbers, but if you contact me personally, I'll share with you some of the testimonials, and I'll even get some of the testimonials on the call if you want to hear from them. But here's what I want you to understand is you have to make that decision. See, the banks are already making money with your money. When you deposit in your savings and checking, it's not there. They're lending it out and they're trading it out, right? That's what they're doing. Why not take some of your earnings and invest it yourself and grow it yourself? And guys, I didn't mention this, but you could actually learn to trade on demo. If you download that app that I talked about, MetaTrader 4, you can actually open up a demo account and start playing with it, right? And as you're using some of these tools and products, you can play with the demo account before you even make a deposit into a brokerage and start trading real money. So guys, are you ready? Now, one of the things I want to share with you as I'm wrapping this up is that you not only get, the stuff that I shared with you, we actually have an entire community that wants to come alongside of you and help you, right? Right now, I actually am building a huge Facebook community with a course built into it on how to use the platform, learning the basics, learning the tools. And guys, you will be plugged and connected with a mentor that's actually going to walk alongside of you in your trading journey so that you're not alone. See, many traders out here, the reason they're not succeeding is because they're trying to do this alone. This is an introvert's dream because they don't have to talk to people to make money. But you see, with us, you can be an introvert if you want, but if you want to connect with people, we're going to be here alongside you, especially if you got this video because of me. I want you to think of me as a person in your corner, making sure that you succeed. If you succeed, I succeed. Guys, I have hundreds of traders right now that I'm mentoring right in my organization. And if you got this video from me, I'm going to be a personal mentor in your corner on top of the platform. So the question is, are you ready? Now, one thing I'll mention to you is courses on what I'm talking about can cost tens of thousands of dollars. That doesn't include software. That doesn't include apps. The platform has made it very, very simple for a person to get into a forex exchange market at a very reasonable price. There's no one out there with the products that we have and service that we have. I've been here almost 2.5 years. Nobody else is doing this, guys. So I want you to understand that what I'm about to show you is very underpriced and very overvalued. To get started with our platform, guys, it's not tens of thousands of dollars, all right? The basic package starts at $235. Okay, it's going to give you the academy, the live mentorship. It'll give you the community tools that we've created for you. Okay, it's $235, and it even comes with one of our scanners, and it has a $175 a month tuition, just like any other college or university. There'll be a tuition involved, but I'm going to share with you guys how to get that tuition waived. Right? There's also a couple of other packages I won't mention today, but also the elite package. The elite package will give you all the scanners. We have a few different academies also built into it, and it'll also give you all 3 apps. If you added all that stuff together, it's somewhere around $500-600 a month that it would cost. Guys, that's $325 to get access to everything. This is the package that I have, okay? And that's $275 a month every month after that. Now, personally, I started with the smaller package, and once I learned and knew everything I wanted, I automatically upgraded to the elite because I saw the power of having more tools, okay? Now, one of the things I want you to understand, for $200 or $300, whatever package you want, you can start learning right away. We plug you into the academy, plug you into the community, help you go to that next level. Now, if you look at the monthly tuition and say, Steve, it may be a challenge for me, or for whatever reason you say, you know what, I would want to get that waived. One of the things that the company has done to help you waive that, we've got about 10,000 active customers taking advantage of this, okay? We've got a 2-and free tuition program where you can get your tuition waived, all right, by simply referring 2 people to the platform. Now, the concept is this. I want you to think of Uber, even Cash App. Many of these apps, Amazon, Facebook, they're all growing because of word of mouth. And so what the company said was, look, instead of spending millions of dollars on TV advertising, magazine advertising, online advertising, let's put the power in the people's hands. So what they do is once you register, you're going to get a unique user link. And then literally just by referring people with your unique user link, maybe it's a friend that complains at her job about money problems or doesn't want to be at her job anymore. Maybe there's a friend that, you know what, you think would be great on this because he trades on the stock market. Well, guess what? Invite them to one of the next webinars that we do. Okay, put them on a call with me or the person that invited you. We find two people, guys, that want to go on this trading journey with you. It's like a university saying your tuition is waived, and not waived for a month, waived forever. As long as two people that you refer are on the platform and they're active paying customers, you're going to have free tuition forever. I've had people with free tuition for over a year, and they continue to enjoy the services, learning, growing, and trading. So guys, I'll tell you, after 2 years of being here, this is the biggest financial market that I've ever seen, with the most amount of potential I've ever seen. I'm telling you, you know, in my last business, guys, I was able to sit with people, you know, making, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, all the way up to, you know, over $1 million a year. What I've seen here, people making in a month and people making in a day, the only thing I'll tell you is what people were making in a year in my previous company in the insurance business is what people are making in a month and in a day in some cases here. So I want to encourage you. It's a very, very powerful time in the world, right? Everything's going digital. You know, everything's going online. You know, I see a huge shift happening in our job markets in the next 20 years. You guys have already seen some of this stuff. Wages are getting lower, right? Competition for work is getting higher. And if you don't put the power in your hands for your financial future, somebody can one day wake up and take it from you. If you've ever experienced a layoff or seen a layoff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so what I want to encourage you today is, why not take a journey to learn something new? Why not take a journey to grow in this? And guys, there's a lot more that I'm going to be sharing over the next couple of weeks on different webinars. But today I wanted to kind of lay the foundation on what the Forex market is and how you can get involved. So I encourage you guys, get back to the person that invited you to this webinar, whoever shared it, get back to them, get your questions answered, all right? And guys, take part in the biggest financial market in the world, because listen, 2020 just began. We're already halfway through the first month of January at the time of this recording. And guys, it's been a flicker, and it's only going to continue to fly by. So let's get our financial goals done. Let's take things to another level, because you deserve it and your family deserves it as well. Blessings to all you guys. Get your questions answered and get back to the person who got you to this webinar or to this video.